Hey guys, so it's Taylor Monet here. I'm going to talk to you guys about the process that I took to get into nursing school, give you guys a little background about myself and why I wanted to pursue nursing and what measures I took to get into nursing school basically. So stay and watch this video and hopefully I can help someone who's looking into nursing school or give you guys some advice, or you could take something from this video, because I know when I was looking at my options I didn't really have resources or people to ask during this process, so hopefully I could be that person for you. So to begin, I was in my third year of undergrad at my previous school. I went to a school in the city, a fairly large school. I was under the major of health professions, which translates into kinesiology, which prepares you for a field in physical therapy. So right from the jump of attending college, I knew that I wanted to be somewhere in the medical field. And during freshman year, I was a biology major with the hopes of going to medical school. But once I started getting into the process and like the hustle and bustle of college, I'm like, you know what, I'm not staying in school long enough to go to med school. It's just out. So next that changed my major my second semester freshman year, and ever since then I was a kinesiology major till now. I was struggling at Temple because the class sizes were large. Anatomy class had like 700 people, and someone like me, I can't really, do well in a big class size like that. Like, I need intimate settings, a smaller class size. I need to be able to feel comfortable to talk to the professor about things, and I just wasn't getting that. I was struggling in the math department, the science department wasn't helpful. But I just feel like my previous school did not cater to my needs as a student, so right then and there I knew it was time to like start thinking of plan B, plan C, whatever. And I realized this maybe my sophomore year, yet I still stuck it out because I had friends there. Everything, I was comfortable at that school, so I didn't want to change my comfortability to start something else. So with me not wanting to leave when I first realized that this wasn't for me, a lot of unhappiness grew from that. Like, I wasn't doing well in classes. I went from being a straight A student in high school to getting my first C and actually failing chemistry. So that took a toll on me. I was not happy, and I realized that I wanted to be a nurse maybe the summer before junior year. Mind you, I just finished my first semester of junior year, so I realized this fairly late in the game, but I just knew that what I was doing was not cutting it anymore, and I needed to figure out something else. Now, you may ask, oh, why do you want to be a nurse? Oh, that was just a random plan. Nursing was always in the back of my head, but my mom is a nurse, so I just figured if I had pursued nursing earlier, it would have seemed like I was just chasing her goal or her dream, and that's not the case at all. But I've had events in my life that pushed me into liking nursing, and more specifically, I want to be in the specialty of labor and delivery because my mom, I have a 2-year-old brother, so my mom, when she delivered my brother, she faced a whole bunch of complications, her and my brother. And you hear now that there's a disparity when it comes to black women and when they're delivering their children and how they're dying and they're facing all these health consequences at the hands and the expense of their medical professionals. And it's something that really resonated with me once I started, hearing about these things in the news and seeing what my mom went through. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna be that black person that advocates for other black women and black families in the medical field, because I'm tired of seeing my people, get sick or die or, face lifelong consequences because their voice isn't heard, or they're not getting the proper treatment that they deserve as people and humans, as an American, to the right of healthcare. So that's why I wanted to go into nursing. Getting into the process of nursing school. So I applied into an accelerated nursing program as a transfer when I was in my second semester of sophomore year. Just on a whim, just trying to see if I could get in. I knew in the back of my head that I couldn't because I was in the middle of taking anatomy and I didn't know if I was going to pass or not. So I was just like, you know what, let's try it. You know, the worst they can say is no, and you try again. So I applied to 2 schools in the accelerated program. So sidetrack. An accelerated program is a 1.5 year to 2 year program where you already have a degree, a bachelor's degree in something else, and you just found out that you want to pursue nursing. So this is where an accelerated program comes into, and ultimately you end up with 2 bachelor's degree, and then you have your bachelor's degree in nursing, and then you pass the NCLEX, the state board exam, and then you're a nurse in 2 years. And then the program that I'm pursuing is just a regular 4-year program, but because I had transfer credits and stuff like that, I don't have to stay for 4 years. I just have to do my clinicals and my nursing programs, and I'm basically done. So the first round that I applied for schools, I applied to accelerated programs that were transfer options. So I could transfer into the program and still graduate within the 2 years that I would normally graduate from my previous school, because I was already a sophomore. Didn't get in. Was kind of discouraged, but I'm like, you know what, it wasn't meant to be. Cool. Go through my first semester of junior year, and I'm like, you know what, this isn't working for me. Like, I need something else. Like, I know where my heart is right now, and it's not here. So I didn't tell anybody. I just went for it. I applied to the school that I got accepted into. Heard back fairly quick, like within a week that I got in. I didn't know how to process it at first, because I'm like, you know what, is this like a joke? Like, am I really in nursing school? So when I got accepted into my school that I'm into now, I was conditionally accepted. So I'm like, whoa, how are you going to just play with my emotions like that? Like, did I get into the school or did I not? So called my admissions counselor or whatever, had a long conversation with him, and he goes, yeah, you're in the program, but you have to pass a test in order to be officially in the nursing program. So I'm like, a test? He's like, yeah, it's called the ATI TEAS test. I'm like, okay. And he was like, yeah, you need a proficient or higher. Cool. So I instantly start Googling up, like, what's this ATI TEAS test or whatever, and it's very similar to an SAT, or more closely to an ACT. Now, I've taken both in high school, and I did not do that great. So I'm like, oh man, like, this is it. Like, I got over one hurdle just to face another. Like, I'm just not gonna be a nurse. Cool. So I applied for the spring semester, and I applied maybe right before Thanksgiving, but because of the process of transferring credits and hearing back from the admissions counselor on what the next steps were, I didn't realize that I had to take this test until mid-December. So I had to register for this test, give myself appropriate time to study for this test, and then take this test all before the semester starts. So today it's January 6th, the semester starts January 13th. I took my ATI TEAS test January 3rd. You have 2 times to try to pass this test with a proficient, and after that, you have to repeat a semester and then try again, and you have to wait 30 days in between your 2 attempts. So I'm like, oh my god, if I pass this test, if I fail this test the first time, then I have to wait, and this is going to make everything longer, and I don't really think this is worth it. But I went on vacation for Christmas. I went to Mexico, and all over my trip I studied. Like, I studied on the beach, I studied on a little boat ride trip we had, I studied on the plane there and back. Like, I was not playing, because I knew this is what I wanted. And I'm someone who procrastinates, and I don't really apply myself sometimes when I feel like it's not going to work out, but something just clicked in my head, and it's like, you know what, if you really want it, you're going to work for it, and you're going to do whatever it takes to get what you want. So I just instantly knew, like, this is it. Like, so took the test, passed, and here I am. But more specifically on the process, so I can only speak as if you are transferring into a nursing program, a 4-year nursing program at that. So I send over my transcripts, I did the actual application, sent over my financial aid. Those were the 3 things I did at first, and those 3 things were processed fairly quickly. They take transfer applications faster than they do regular applications, in my opinion. Got that done. I heard a decision within a week and a half. And then maybe 2 weeks later, they sent my official packet with like my financial aid letter, my acceptance letter that said conditionally accepted. They sent the information for the ATITs test, and everything you needed to know. So I sent over my deposit, which was $250 to secure my spot, because I'm like, I'm hopping on this, like there's no other option at this point. I briefly spoke on why I wanted to pursue the specialty in nursing, which was labor and delivery / women's health, because of what I experienced with my mom delivering my brother, and well, not experienced, but witnessed with my mom delivering my brother, and just with current events. And like, if I follow science magazines and stuff like that, and there's a whole bunch of research and articles on how many Black women die annually by giving birth because a doctor didn't hear their complaint or didn't take their complaint seriously, and now they delivered the baby and passed away from complications. So I want to be an advocate for these Black women and these families, because sometimes a woman can't advocate for herself, so there's her husband, and the doctor isn't listening to the husband either. There's too many of us dying, and we don't have to. These can all be avoided. Like, there are situations where it can't be avoided, but majority of the time it can, and all they need is someone to listen to them and take what they have to say seriously, and I'm going to be that person for them. I also have like a connection with pediatrics. Like, I do like working with kids. I worked with kids for numerous jobs in the summer and stuff like that, and I feel like if labor and delivery doesn't work out for me, then I think I would pursue pediatrics. My last couple points I want to make are about this channel. So some may ask, why a nursing channel rather than a beauty channel? And don't get me wrong, I love my makeup. You can't tell right now, but I love my makeup, my hair, all of that. But I feel like as a nursing student or someone who was looking at nursing programs, there weren't a lot of resources on YouTube. Like, you want to see what clinicals are like, you want to see what classes are like, how you study, and that's not something that's popular on YouTube. And I know there's someone who's going to be in my shoes maybe a year from now, a couple months from now, looking at people who are trying to do what, or looking at people who do what they're trying to do. So I decided on a nursing channel because I want to help out someone who is looking into nursing school, or who is in nursing school, who wants to see someone going through the same thing that they go through. I don't really have any expectations with this channel. I just want to share the knowledge that I have and the knowledge that I gain with people who are interested in the same things that I am, which is nursing, and I want to potentially help someone. There's many things to come with this channel. I would do vlogs, studying tips as I learn them, give you a preview of like what clinicals are like, my classes are like, just many things. Like, I want this to be like an open book with people. I want this to be an open book, and I want us all to go on this journey together. So thank you for watching, and like this video and subscribe.